So I'm jumping on a YouTube trend right now with this video, and I'm answering all of your assumptions about me. I asked you all on an Instagram post and on my YouTube community page, what do you assume about me? Just from watching me on various social media platforms, what are your assumptions? And oh my gosh, you all sent in a ton. I have like 10 pages of assumptions here. I thought this would be funnest if I answered your assumptions without fully reading what you wrote. So I didn't read them. You're going to get my full true reaction and answer, and I'm either going to prove you right, prove you wrong, or tell you what the difference is. So here we go. These are answering your assumptions about me. First, you assume that I love animals. You are absolutely 100% correct. In fact, Pollux is laying right here. You can probably see his nose, and Maxie's in his bed behind me. I adore animals, all animals, dogs, cats. I've raised 5 dogs in my life. My daughters both have 2 cats each, so I say that I have 4 grandkitties. And growing up, I actually had a cat and a dog, and when I was little, my mother had a dog. So my life has always been full of animals. I love them, I adore them, and I welcome them into my home. I assume people come to you for advice because you seem so loving, respectful, and reassuring. That is super sweet of you to say. My daughters absolutely ask me for advice. My sister will sometimes ask me for advice, and then the majority of the time it is you all. My viewers, my subscribers, email me, send me DMs on Instagram, write in the comments asking me for my advice on various topics. I will gladly give it if it's something that I feel like I can guide you on. Sometimes you all ask me things I just have no idea, and I'll tell you, I'm sorry, I'm not the person to help you there. I assume you're a loyal friend. Yes, your assumption is correct. If you're in my life and we are friends, and I do have a very small circle of friends, that was somebody else's assumption. The majority of my friends are actually my family members, and I'm extremely loyal. I don't jump ship on anybody unless you prove to me that you're not worthy of being my friend. When I was growing up, my mother always used to say, I trust you until you give me a reason not to. And that's kind of my motto in life. I'm a very trusting person, which means I'm a very loyal person. But when you show me that you no longer deserve my loyalty and trust, that's kind of it for me. I assume that you throw great pool parties. Well, we've had our swimming pool for like 18 or 19 years now, and back in the day, we used to throw some banger pool parties. And my daughters would have pool parties when they were little, and their friends would come over. We would have friends over. It's not so much anymore now that Randy and I are older and our kids are grown and out of the house. We just like to enjoy the pool by ourselves. Now, we will occasionally have my sister-in-laws over or like a set of close friends, but as far as full-on pool party with lots of people, we don't do it. That's, no longer my style. I assume you and Randy never argue. You seem so chill with each other. That is correct. We very rarely argue. Maybe once every 4 or 5 years, we actually get in what I call an argument, a disagreement. Now, that's not to say we don't tick each other off for a couple minutes, and when he does something that irritates me, I just zip it because I know it's not worth getting in an argument over. I just go in the other room, I sort it out, with myself, and then I'm over it. And he kind of does the same. We just don't have anything to argue over. We get along great. We have the same values. We kind of see everything the same way as far as life goes, and there's no reason to argue. Assume that what you see is what you get. I don't think you hide much. I feel like that's pretty accurate. I put it out there. This is just me. I don't put on airs. I don't pretend to be something I'm not. If you follow me, clearly you see me at my worst and at my best. You see me straight out of bed in my pajamas with my hair all crazy. You see me when I'm dressed up. I've got somewhere to go. And this is just kind of me. I'm new to your channel, but I've been trying to watch your older videos. I assume that you would rather cook at home than go out to eat. And she assumes I'm a good cook. Half the time I want to go out to eat, and the other half of the time I want to cook at home. So the way my week typically goes, Sunday through Thursday, I cook at home. Friday and Saturday, I say I'm off the clock. I want to go out to eat. And it's not that I mind cooking. It's just, It's a thing, you know, you got to stay on a schedule. My dad comes over for dinner every night. We like to eat promptly at 6 o'clock. So he's over here with his bib on. Everybody's sitting at the kitchen table staring at me. So cooking just kind of dictates my evening, and then there's the cleanup and all the things. So I'll gladly and happily cook during the week, but on the weekends, I want somebody to cook for me. I'm going out. Oh, and yes, I am a good cook. I have over 50 cooking and recipe videos on this channel. I'll put a little card right up here. They're all in a playlist together, and I have written 3 separate cookbooks. I did an everyday meal and simple recipe cookbook. I wrote a margarita drink book. And then last year around the holidays, I did a live interactive cooking class teaching you how to make hot cocoa bombs. My 3rd cookbook will be out next week, and it is full flavor, low carb meals, so be on the lookout for that one. I assume as a child you always wanted to go on cruises to foreign lands. Absolutely wrong. I did not go out of the country as a child. My first time out of the country, I was fully an adult and I took myself. When I would vacation with my parents as a child, we would go to Florida, we would go to South Carolina. Yes, we would go to the beach. I never went on a cruise. I never went out of the country. And in fact, I've only been on 1 cruise in my whole life. I was an adult and I paid for it myself. I assume that one day you would love to move to a warmer climate. Yes and no. You're half right and half wrong. I don't want to totally move to a warmer climate. I love living in Western Kentucky. I love it here in the spring, the summer, and the fall. Winter here, which I define winter as like Thanksgiving to end of March. Winter here, I hate it. And it's not because it's necessarily so cold, it's just gray skies, gloom. We never see sunshine. The weather can fluctuate from 10 degrees, which is what it was here last week, to 60 degrees today. The weather here is very unpredictable. It is nuts. We get snow, we get rain, we get ice, and for that winter time period, I would love to live somewhere else in a warmer climate. And hopefully one day I'll get there. I assume you're a very strict parent. Oh, no, that is not at all. I am not, or was not a strict parent. Now, when my daughters were little, I mean, you know, under the age of 10, yes, I made them do chores. Not many. They had like 1 or 2 household chores that they were responsible for. And then when they were teenagers, I really was not a strict parent. Kids are going to mess up. Kids are going to be mischievous. They need to learn. They did not need me to be a helicopter parent. And I was not one of those moms that had a curfew. You've got to be here at midnight, and if you show up at 12:01, you're grounded. I don't think I ever grounded my girls ever. Now, I didn't let them take advantage of me or the situation, but I didn't have a very long set of rules. I pretty much am a go with the flow kind of gal, and my husband is too. So no, I would not say I was a strict parent at all. Maybe next time my daughters are home, we'll ask them that question. You and your daughters have a perfect relationship. Yes, I would say you are correct. I'm very close to both of my daughters. We talk about anything and everything. They do come to me for advice. They come to me for guidance. But, you know, honestly, I go to them for advice as well. If I need input or guidance or what do you think about this or somebody else's opinion, I'm calling one of my 2 daughters. So it really is a 2-way street now that they're adults. You seem like a fairly liberal-minded person who thankfully does not talk about politics. Oh, you got that right. I don't discuss politics, religion, sex, anything that's going on in the news. It's not going to happen. You'll never hear it on my channel. I assume you're missing your mom very much. You're right. Yes, that is a very true assumption, especially with the holidays. Yeah, holidays were tough. Lots of memories. Don't make me cry. Lots of memories of my mom. Everywhere that I looked, I had her Christmas ribbon on my Christmas tree. And yeah, but we decided this year was a time to do a fresh start. We made some new holiday traditions. We're now having our Christmas dinner and gathering at my house. We opened family gifts over here. I think my dad just didn't want us to come to his house anymore because he didn't put up Christmas decorations. My mom wasn't there. It was going to be too hard. And so we decided to start some new things. But you are right. Your assumption is correct. I miss my mother very much. I assume that you're a go with the flow kind of gal. 95% of the time, I am simply go with the flow. But when things need to be done and I need them to be done correctly, I am a take charge. I'm going to plan it because I know what needs to happen. Follow me kind of gal. No matter how you slice it, you're cute. Oh, thank you, Donna. Your looks, your style, your personality, very down to earth. And well, that's not really an assumption, but thank you so much. I assume that you're a very positive person. You wake up every day upbeat, you stay busy in a productive way, you always seem to be positive and okay with your whole day at the end of the day. I assume that you never wake up feeling lazy and don't do the things you had planned that day and just lay around and do nothing. Well, I never lay around and do nothing. Unless I'm sick, it's just not in my nature. I am up, I'm moving. Yes, I typically wake up happy. I'm a morning person. In the evening, 9:30, that's when I'm sinking into the couch. But at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm up and ready and I am a go-getter. I love a to-do list. I love to be organized. I try my best to accomplish lots of things every day because that's what makes me feel good. If I spent my day sitting on the couch and doing nothing, at the end of the day, I would just feel bad about myself. So I think your assumption's pretty correct. I assume you love warm shades like red and orange based on the decor choices in your home and your clothing. Yeah, you are totally right. I love warm colors. I love orange, red, like you said, but I also love all colors of green. Kelly green, olive green. I love neutrals, blacks and khakis. I love to wear the color white, and I love, absolutely love, any version of the color fuchsia or raspberry as some people call it. I love to wear colors that make me happy. It really just depends on my mood, I think. Like today, it's pouring down rain, it's gloomy, it is bleh, and I wasn't in the mood to put on a bright red top. So black it was. I'm not leaving my house today, so I'm in my comfy little two-piece set, and so my outfit kind of matches my mood, which kind of matches the weather. Truth be told. I assume you're always in a good mood and never depressed because you always seem so happy. I generally am in a good mood. On most days, this is me. I'm smiling. I'm happy. Not a lot of things make me sad. Obviously, there are things like losing my mom. But really, it has to be a pretty drastic, negative life event for something to really get me down. I assume that you are debt-free. Well, not sure why you would assume that, but it is a good assumption. I'll tell you that Randy and I have been very careful with our money, very frugal with our money. We are big, big, big on saving, putting money away for retirement. We don't have credit card debt. I do have a loan on my car, which honestly, I could pay it off, but I pay zero interest, y'all. Zero. And I have like 5 payments left, and so there was no point in paying it off, so I just haven't. And the mortgage on our home will be paid off in, I think I have 18 months left. You will see me celebrate when that happens. So yes, there's a smidge of debt there, but that is all. I am most proudest of the fact that I have never in my life had credit card debt. I don't rely on credit cards and never have. I'm teaching my daughters the same thing, and both of my daughters now have fantastic full-time jobs. We talk a lot about how they should save their money and save for retirement. My youngest daughter actually just got her first big girl full-time job, and the other day was filling out all of her employment papers. Her employer has a 401k with a company match, and so we have set up for her all of that. She is maxing it out off the get-go. She's 21 years old, and I've also shown her how to automatically have her bank put money from every paycheck into our savings account that she will never touch. So yes, big into financials, and if you come back to me in 18 more months, I will jump up and down telling you I am 100% debt free. I assume you have practiced or taken yoga classes because you recognize my stretches. So apparently you are watching me on Instagram because lately I have been sharing my daily workouts. Yes, back in the day, I used to love yoga and I still do. Yoga and Pilates, I love to stretch, I love to move. I also love strength training with some hand weights and doing lunges with weights. I used to take a yoga class, gosh, 20 years ago at the local gym here, and I adored the woman that taught this class. She was really my first introduction to yoga and Pilates, and it's just something that stuck with me, and I've continued it since. But nowadays, I work out right here in this room. I roll out my yoga mat. Maxie and Pollock sit here and watch me, and I just do different things. Cardio, stretching, tone and trim. I'll do arm workouts with weights. It's just kind of whatever I'm in the mood for that day. But you are correct. I have practiced yoga in the past. Okay, I assume you had many friends in school. You seem to be approachable and inviting. Well, y'all, I live in a small town. I grew up in the same small town. My high school had, I think there were 150 kids that graduated in my class. I graduated in 89. And so, yeah, I knew all of them. I am a friendly person. I would like to say I was friends with most people unless they didn't want to be friends with me, which there were some of those people. And I am approachable. I will welcome anybody. And yeah, I think that's a pretty good assumption. So somebody said, "Ooh, this is going to be fun. I assume you are a real people person and are very extroverted." Wrong. I am not extroverted. I am very much a stick to myself kind of gal unless I am in this type of setting talking to you. So if it's an environment where I'm comfortable, such as in my home talking to the camera, or when I owned my ice cream shop and customers were coming in the door, I was completely comfortable and at ease. So I can be more outgoing, extroverted, if you want to call it that. But when I am out in public and let's just say I'm at a football game and I'm walking around and there's tons of people that I don't know, or if I'm at a party with a bunch of strangers, I am very much stick to myself. I don't like to be in huge crowds, just packed with people. I do not enjoy parties or settings where I don't know anybody. That has never been my thing. In college, I was not a partier. I was not someone who went out to the bars because I didn't enjoy just that whole scene. I was a stay home, have friends over. I actually cooked for my friends in college. That was more my vibe. Oh, somebody said, "I assume you still frequent your ice cream shop that you sold not long ago." Wrong. I have not been back to my ice cream shop since the day that I handed the keys over to the new owner and I walked out the door. Have not been back. My feeling is that it's no longer mine, it's his. I don't want to see the changes, which I've heard from many people have happened in the shop, and it's just not mine anymore. And so it kind of makes me sad to think about all the things that were happening down there, changes that were going to be made, recipes that were going to be altered. You know, it was my baby. I built it, I founded it, and it was time to sell it. It was time to move on. And so when I handed it over, that was it for me. I assume you have a full and satisfying life and that you sleep well. Bingo. Yes, 100%. Absolutely all of the above. I sleep like a baby. I love my life. I'm very active. I love to go and do, and I am very satisfied, and I wouldn't change anything about my life for $1,000,000. I assume that you now love cats. Well, I've always loved cats, but now that I'm a grandmommy to 4 grandkitties, I love them. They are the sweetest, sweetest, sweetest little kitty cats. My daughters come home, they bring the cats. You all have seen them in plenty of YouTube videos. So yes, love the kitties. Who in the world taught you to be so neat and organized and plan meals? Usually one is a cook or a cleaner and not both. Well, I don't know. I like to plan meals for the week. I want to go to the grocery one time and one time only. So I write out my recipes, I get my ingredient list, I do my shopping, and I cook. And then when dinner's over, I'm the one that cleans up the dishes, puts them in the dishwasher. Randy does the countertops, and it's kind of a group effort. And yeah, I just kind of do it all. It's just how it's turned out. I assume that you want grandchildren. Yes, eventually, but my daughters are not there yet. I want them to enjoy this time in their lives when they're in their early and mid 20s. One of my daughters is getting ready to get married. They have jobs, but they don't have responsibilities that pin them down. I want them to enjoy that time because I didn't have my first child until I was 27 years old. And so I really had that time to just do my thing, and I want that for them too. So they're in no hurry. I'm in no hurry for them. Right now the grandkitties are my grandkids, and I hope we just leave it that way for a little while. Then somebody said, I assume that you know what you want and you work to make it happen. You are absolutely correct. I know what I want, and what I want may change all the time, but when I want something, I will put in the power and the energy and the effort to make it happen. I assume your house is never dirty. Well, I keep my house picked up, but as far as like deep cleaning, I normally do that in the month of January, believe it or not. It's the dead of winter. This is my time to clean, but I have not done that this year. I've been too busy with YouTube and all the things, and I just haven't. Even Randy said the other day, hey, wait a minute, isn't this the month you're supposed to be cleaning some of this stuff? I'll get to it. Dirt's not going anywhere. And it's not that it's dirty, dirty, dirty. I keep the house tidy. I keep it clean. And somebody said they assume I have a housekeeper. Wrong. I do not have a housekeeper. I do it all myself. And when I mean like deep clean, it's wiping the fronts of the cabinets and getting the grease off of the hood over the stove and deep cleaning the shower and taking out all the contents of the closet and vacuuming all the corners. That's what I mean by deep clean. Oh, and cleaning the blades on the ceiling fan. That is deep cleaning. I'll get to it. It's not going anywhere. It's not important. One day. I assume that you have always focused on others, and this is the phase of your life where you can focus on yourself. You're finding yourself and you're more confident than ever. I also assume it's hard to switch off and you're always thinking about what will make a great video. True, true, and true. You know, you have kids, you focus on your kids, you focus on your husband, you're focused on your job, and I'm getting ready to turn 53 this year. I sold my ice cream shop. I get to do what I want, when I want, how I want. I always give 100% of my effort to whatever is important at that moment. So, you know, in my 20s and 30s and 40s, it was them. Now it's me. Of course, my kids still need me. My husband needs me. I'm right here. I allocate my time to all of my different priorities. And naturally, I think as you get older, you get more confident. I've always been a confident person to some degree, but as I get older, I become more confident in certain things about myself. And I know that anything I want to tackle, anything I want to do, I can do it. That is the confidence I'm gaining, and I really, really, really love that. And yeah, I am always thinking about what is my next video topic. It is almost impossible to switch that off because I work from home, I film content in my house. There's every time, I'll start doing something and think, oh my gosh, this should be a video. Halt, and I write it down, or I'll pick up my camera and start filming just off the cuff what I'm doing and somehow incorporate that into a future video. So yeah, it is hard to turn that off. You assume that I'm a neat freak, and you say this respectfully because my house always looks so beautiful, well organized. My kitchen is neat. There are no dishes in the sink, and my bathroom looks spotless. There are no piles of laundry. Maxie and Pollux look impeccable, and they only have one feeding station. Yes, true, 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 and true. I do not allow dishes in the sink. They're always in the dishwasher. I turn the dishwasher on pretty much every night when we go to bed. I just turn it on. It's just easiest to do it like that. My bathrooms, they're surface clean, My shower could probably use a good clean right now. I'll get to it. And no, there are no piles of laundry. We keep the laundry in the dirty clothes basket. Randy does the laundry, not me. I have a separate clothes basket for my delicates. I'll do those. Otherwise, he handles the laundry, and Maxie and Pollux go to the groomer every 5 to 6 weeks. If Maxie does not get groomed, his hair overtakes him and he looks like a teddy bear, and he just gets matted up. So he has to go to the groomer, and then Pollux goes along for a bath and a shedding. A blowout, they get rid of all of that loose hair. They probably don't appreciate that, but I appreciate a good clean dog. I assume that you're never anxious about many things. You seem decisive, especially about your career moves, and you think it's because I have a safe, supportive relationship with my best friend and I can talk things through with my husband. You are correct. I don't get anxious about much. The things that make me anxious are things that I know I can go back and change to get control of them. The perfect example is this. We are getting ready to go on vacation, and I booked a flight from the airline that was super early. And for the past 2 months, I have been thinking about that flight. We were going to have to be at the airport at 3 a.m. in the morning for a 5-something a.m. flight. We have about 7 hours in the air, and I just dreaded. I knew that I was going to be exhausted because I would not get enough sleep the night before. I don't enjoy flying, and then when we get to vacation, I just am not going to enjoy myself because I'm going to be exhausted and sleep deprived and feel yucky. So I called the airline the other day and I pushed back our flight to a 9 a.m. flight. The minute I did it, the anxiety that I was feeling about a 5 a.m. flight just instantly dissolved. So those are the types of things that make me feel anxious. I get anxiety about them, but I just think about them and I try to figure out how can I change this, or what can I do? What is the reason that I'm feeling the anxiety about it? And I make a change to get rid of the anxiety. But as far as just life in general and, normal everyday things, no, I don't get much anxiety about that. And yes, I am decisive. If I want something and I know how to do it, I make a decision and I go for it. Oh, y'all, look here. We're on the last page. You assume I was a cheerleader at some point in my life. Yes, you are correct. That was so bad. Oh my gosh, my old cheerleading self would be so ashamed of what I just did. Yes, I was a cheerleader from 6th grade all the way through college. I always took gymnastics and dance, and I was a cheerleader all through middle school and high school, and then I even went on and I was a cheerleader in college. Only for 1 year. That is when I realized, because college cheerleading is uber competitive. I went to University of Kentucky, always top of the class, best in the nation. I was not good enough to continue to cheer there for all 4 years when I was in school. I cheered 1 year and realized, this is probably not the best fit for me. But yeah, at the college level, I knew it. It was time to tap out. But yeah, I was a cheerleader. You're right. Now, who do you think wrote this assumption? I assume your husband is a really great guy. That would be from Randy. He saw my assumption post and wrote that in. Yes, my husband is a great guy. He's a fantastic guy. We've been married 22 years now. Oh my gosh, 22, happily married, will be married forever years. He's a fantastic guy. So your assumption, babe, is correct. Someone says, I assume you have a type A personality. Well, I think I might have addressed that. Yes, in some situations, no in other situations. I don't know. Overall, maybe yes, I would say I'm a type A. Yeah, you're probably right. You assume that I sleep very well, early to bed and early to rise. Check. Correct. You assume I do not keep my phone in the bedroom at night. No, I do not. I plug my phone up in the utility room. I do not have my phone in bed at all. I stop looking at my phone in the blue light at about 8 o'clock at night. I just put it up. It's my time to be away from all of that. I think if I had my phone in the bedroom, I wouldn't be able to sleep. It would just bother me knowing that it was in the same room with me. So I just don't do it. I put it up. You assume that Randy and I do pretty much everything together and we're BFFs. Yes, we are. Everything, always together. You assume I have a housekeeper? No. And I can afford a housekeeper because I make millions? No. And no again. I do not make millions. I do not want to pay for a housekeeper, and I take care of my house myself. And the last assumption is that I prefer wearing trousers and shorts to dresses. That is so funny that you would even assume that, but you're kind of correct. I love pants. I love shorts in the summertime, but I love a cute dress in the summertime. Wintertime, not so much about dresses just because it'll be cold, and then you got to have certain shoes and boots, and I don't go out that much to spend money to buy the proper footwear to wear with a dress and tights, and too much effort to wear a dress in the winter, but in the summertime, I love a good dress. So those are your assumptions. I hope you enjoyed my answers, either debunking or confirming your assumptions. And I think the majority of you all were pretty much spot on. And that just confirms what you see is what you get. So thanks for joining my video, and I'll see you all later.